It was a bright Monday morning in the city, with sunlight reflecting off the glass and metal of downtown buildings. Marcus Bennett, a black man in his mid-30s, stood at the wheel of his public transit bus, greeting passengers with a polite nod as they boarded. Marcus had been a bus driver for several years, widely respected for his punctuality, professionalism, and calm demeanor. Outside, the streets buzzed with morning traffic, commuters rushing to work, and pedestrians weaving through the sidewalks. Marcus maneuvered the bus skillfully through the crowded streets, maintaining a composed and attentive focus on the road, his experience evident in every precise turn and smooth stop. Among the passengers was a white woman named Clara Reynolds, who had boarded the bus in a rush to get to her office. She glanced at Marcus with a smirk, muttering under her breath to herself, "Let's see how careful he really is. He probably can't handle this bus properly." She chuckled softly, attracting the attention of a few nearby passengers who looked uncomfortable at her tone. Marcus, overhearing the comment, remained composed, his eyes forward and hands steady on the wheel. He did not respond to her words, understanding that patience and professionalism often speak louder than any immediate reaction. The bus continued its route, stopping at multiple intersections and picking up passengers along the way. Clara occasionally made audible comments about Marcus's driving, questioning his speed or making snide remarks about his ability to navigate the busy streets. Other passengers began to notice her behavior, some shifting uncomfortably, others glancing at Marcus to see how he would react. He remained calm, composed, and focused, his professionalism evident in every movement and decision, unaffected by her casual mockery. By the time the bus reached the final stop of the morning route, Clara prepared to exit. She looked at Marcus one last time with a smirk, confident in the judgment she had made. As Marcus parked and stepped off the bus, he reached a nearby parking area where a brand new black Mercedes Benz gleamed in the sunlight. He moved with calm authority as he approached the car, opening the door and sliding into the driver's seat with a composed demeanor. Clara's smirk faltered instantly. Her eyes widened as she realized that the man she had been mocking was far more successful than she had assumed. The dramatic contrast between her assumptions and reality left her frozen, astonished at the sight of Marcus leaving in the luxury vehicle. Passengers who had witnessed the moment exchanged quiet glances, some smiling subtly at the reversal of perception. Marcus started the Mercedes with a smooth, confident motion, merging seamlessly into the city traffic. Clara remained standing near the curb, her earlier laughter replaced with disbelief, a silent acknowledgement that her assumptions had been entirely misplaced. Marcus drove away with calm assurance, his presence commanding respect through professionalism, composure, and success, leaving behind a scene that subtly yet powerfully conveyed the lesson that appearances and assumptions are often misleading. The morning after the incident on the bus, Marcus Bennett arrived at his office with the same calm confidence he carried everywhere. The city streets were already buzzing with activity, but he navigated the traffic with precise control, aware of every car, cyclist, and pedestrian around him. His role as a bus driver had always demanded focus and composure, but now he was also managing investments and personal ventures that allowed him to enjoy a level of success most people assumed was beyond him. The Mercedes he drove that morning was not a sudden purchase or display of wealth. It was a product of years of disciplined work, smart decisions, and careful planning. Marcus's office was modest but organized, reflecting his pragmatic approach to both life and work. He reviewed emails and project updates, prioritizing tasks with methodical efficiency. The memory of Clara Reynolds and her smirk on the bus crossed his mind, but only briefly, not with anger, but as a reminder of how easily people make assumptions based on appearances. His calm demeanor, even in the face of casual disrespect, had always been his strength. It allowed him to handle every challenge, every interaction, and every judgment with measured clarity. Throughout the morning, Marcus coordinated with his personal assistants and partners on various projects, discussing schedules, reviewing budgets, and evaluating new opportunities. His authority was quiet but unmistakable. His team respected his decisions and deferred to his judgment, not because of intimidation, but because his competence and composure demanded it. Meanwhile, Clara's mocking laughter from the previous day lingered only as a lesson in human arrogance. Assumptions are often false, and respect is earned through consistent performance and presence, not through appearances. By the afternoon, Marcus stepped out briefly to handle errands and meet with clients. His movements were deliberate, controlled, and assured, each action reflecting both the discipline honed through years as a bus driver and the strategic awareness required to manage personal ventures successfully. Onlookers occasionally noticed the luxury vehicle, the confidence in his stride, and the calm authority in his demeanor. For those who had underestimated him, whether strangers, colleagues, or casual observers like Clara, the sight reinforced the lesson that outward appearances rarely reflect the full measure of a person's accomplishments or character. As evening approached, Marcus returned home, the city glowing under the setting sun. He reflected on the events of the past day, understanding that moments of judgment or casual mockery often reveal more about the observer than the observed. Clara's astonished expression on seeing the Mercedes had been a small but telling example. People underestimate others at their peril. Marcus moved through the evening with his usual composure, confident that his professionalism, success, and calm authority had quietly communicated the truth to everyone who had witnessed the scene, leaving an indelible impression of competence and earned respect. By midweek, Marcus Bennett's presence and reputation had quietly begun to ripple through the city's social circles. His calm authority and the understated confidence he displayed as he stepped out of his bus and into the Mercedes had left an impression not only on Clara Reynolds, but on several passengers and pedestrians who had witnessed the moment. Marcus moved through his daily routine with deliberate precision, balancing his professional responsibilities as a bus driver with his personal ventures and investments. His life was a testament to discipline, strategic thinking, and composure, qualities that had consistently guided him past challenges, criticism, and casual mockery. Throughout the morning, Marcus navigated the city streets with the same focus and care that had earned him a reputation for impeccable professionalism. He greeted colleagues, passengers, and even casual acquaintances with polite composure, never needing to assert his status through words or display. The Mercedes was more than a vehicle. It was a symbol of the years of hard work, intelligent decision-making, and consistent discipline that had quietly shaped his success. Observers who had initially underestimated him, including Clara, began to understand through their own astonishment that appearances are often misleading, and respect is truly earned, not assumed. Later in the afternoon, Marcus attended a meeting for one of his personal ventures, discussing logistics, budgets, and strategic planning with partners who relied on his experience and insight. Every instruction he gave, every suggestion he offered, was received with immediate respect because of the composure, clarity, and authority he carried. Even those unfamiliar with his story could sense the quiet influence he exerted, and the contrast between casual arrogance and genuine competence became increasingly clear. The lesson that Claire had glimpsed on the bus, that quick judgments can be profoundly wrong, echoed through these interactions, reinforcing the undeniable power of earned authority and calm professionalism. By evening, Marcus returned to the streets he had navigated so many times, the city glowing under the fading sunlight. As he drove the Mercedes with effortless control, he reflected on the dynamics of respect, judgment, and perception. Clara's astonished expression and the subtle acknowledgement of her misjudgment had been a small but telling demonstration of how appearances deceive, while discipline, intelligence, and composure reveal true authority. Marcus moved with confidence, knowing that his actions had communicated lessons far more effectively than words ever could, leaving impressions on everyone who had observed his quiet, commanding presence throughout the day. By the following morning, Marcus Bennett had fully settled into the rhythm of his week, balancing his work as a bus driver with personal business ventures and community engagements. The city streets were alive with the usual morning activity, commuters rushing to work, delivery trucks navigating narrow lanes, and pedestrians weaving through crowded sidewalks. Marcus moved through it all with calm assurance, his posture relaxed but commanding, his mind alert to every detail. The memory of Clara Reynolds' laughter and her astonished reaction to his Mercedes lingered only as a subtle reminder of how quick assumptions can be, and how easily they can be overturned by competence, composure, and success. Throughout the morning, Marcus completed his bus route with his usual precision, greeting passengers politely and navigating the busy streets without any sign of distraction. He maintained focus on safety and efficiency, demonstrating the quiet professionalism that had earned him respect among regular passengers and colleagues alike. Occasionally, a passenger would glance at the luxury vehicle parked nearby, their curiosity and subtle admiration reinforcing the contrast between appearances and reality. Marcus never reacted to these observations. Instead, he allowed his actions, skill, and calm demeanor to speak for themselves. Later in the afternoon, Marcus attended a brief meeting with one of his business partners, reviewing strategies and evaluating upcoming opportunities. His approach was methodical, thoughtful, and composed, demonstrating the consistency and intelligence that had guided him from his early career to the present day. Even casual interactions with colleagues and clients carried the quiet authority he embodied, a reminder that respect is earned through reliability, competence, and poise, not through displays of ego or superficial dominance. The incident on the bus continued to resonate as a minor but impactful illustration of this principle. Assumptions and mockery crumble when confronted by quiet skill and steady confidence. By evening, Marcus returned home, navigating the city streets with the same measured focus and control that defined both his professional and personal life. The Mercedes gleamed under the setting sun, a testament to his disciplined planning and sustained effort. As he reflected on the events of the week, he understood that respect, once earned through consistent action and professionalism, leaves a lasting impression that can transform perceptions instantly. Clara Reynolds' astonishment was a small but clear example. Assumptions based on appearances are fragile, while authority rooted in competence and composure endures. Marcus moved through the evening with calm assurance, confident that his actions had communicated the truth of his success and character to all who had observed him. By midweek, Marcus Bennett's quiet authority and success had begun to influence the environment around him in subtle but unmistakable ways. Passengers who frequently rode his bus now observed his calm demeanor and professional skill, recognizing the care and precision with which he managed his routes. Even casual observers, who had witnessed him stepping into the Mercedes, noted the contrast between assumptions and reality. Marcus carried himself with an effortless confidence that reflected years of discipline, strategic thinking, and a commitment to excellence in every aspect of his life. The incident with Clara Reynolds had already become a silent example of the consequences of underestimating others and judging by appearances. Throughout the morning, Marcus navigated his bus route with his usual attention to detail, greeting passengers courteously, adjusting his driving for traffic, and maintaining a smooth and safe ride. His interactions were polite and composed, reinforcing the respect he had cultivated among colleagues and regular riders. Tyler, one of the newer drivers in his depot, who had overheard the story of the Mercedes incident, observed quietly, gaining an unspoken lesson in humility, professionalism, and the quiet power of earned authority. Marcus did not speak of his success. Instead, he allowed his actions, consistency, and competence to communicate the full measure of his abilities. Later in the afternoon, Marcus attended a brief consultation for one of his personal ventures, discussing logistics and financial planning with partners. His demeanor remained composed, deliberate, and focused, demonstrating that leadership and success are not about display or arrogance, but about careful planning, discipline, and calm authority. The contrast between those who had underestimated him and his demonstrated competence continued to highlight the lessons embedded in the bus and Mercedes incident. Every decision he made and every interaction he conducted reinforced the idea that true respect is earned through action, not appearance. By evening, Marcus returned home, driving the Mercedes with measured confidence and precision. The city streets were busy but familiar, and his attention remained fully on the task at hand. He reflected on the week's events, understanding that even fleeting encounters like the one with Clara Reynolds could carry lasting lessons about judgment, respect, and perception. The astonishment she had displayed upon seeing him in the luxury car was a microcosm of a larger truth. Appearances can deceive, casual mockery can misfire, and authority, when earned through competence and composure, asserts itself effortlessly. Marcus entered his home with calm assurance, fully aware that his actions, demeanor, and success had left an enduring impression on those who had witnessed them, subtly reshaping perceptions and reinforcing the value of humility, respect, and steady authority. By the following week, Marcus Bennett had established a rhythm in his life that seamlessly balanced his responsibilities as a bus driver, his personal ventures, and his influence on the community. His calm authority and professionalism had become evident not only to passengers and colleagues, but also to casual observers in the city. The story of the Mercedes incident had quietly spread among a few regular riders and co-workers, serving as a subtle lesson in humility and perception. Marcus moved through his days with the same composed confidence that had earned him respect over the years, aware that true authority is recognized through action, consistency, and measured presence, not through words or displays of ego. Throughout the morning, Marcus completed his bus route with precision, interacting politely and respectfully with passengers. His demeanor was steady, professional, and approachable, signaling both competence and calm authority. Observers who had previously underestimated him, including newer staff at the transit depot, noted his skillful handling of the vehicle, his attention to safety, and his composed responses to the unpredictable situations that arose on city streets. Each action reinforced the quiet lesson that appearances can mislead, and that respect is earned by discipline, composure, and consistent performance. Later in the afternoon, Marcus attended a brief meeting with a business partner regarding one of his investments. He conducted himself with methodical focus, addressing financial and operational matters with clarity and precision. Even in casual conversation, his calm authority and confidence were unmistakable, leaving a subtle impression on those around him. The Mercedes incident remained a touchstone, illustrating the dramatic contrast between initial assumptions and reality, and the enduring impact of professionalism and quiet confidence on perception. By evening, Marcus returned home, driving the Mercedes through the familiar streets with controlled ease and attentiveness. As he reflected on the week, he recognized that each small interaction, from his bus route to casual encounters in the city, carried the opportunity to demonstrate discipline, competence, and authority. Clara Reynolds' astonished reaction had been a fleeting moment, yet it encapsulated a broader truth. Judgment based on appearances is often flawed, and true respect is always earned through consistent, composed, and competent action. Marcus stepped into his home with calm assurance, confident that his life, actions, and demeanor continued to leave lasting impressions on everyone who observed him, reinforcing the quiet power of earned authority. By the end of the week, Marcus Bennett had fully cemented the respect and quiet authority he carried, both among his passengers, colleagues, and in the broader city environment. The story of the Mercedes incident had subtly circulated, leaving a lasting impression on anyone who had witnessed it or heard about it. Marcus moved through his days with calm composure, skill, and confidence, his demeanor reflecting the discipline and intelligence that had guided his career and personal ventures. Every interaction, whether with passengers, colleagues, or casual observers, reinforced the lessons of humility, respect, and earned authority. Throughout the day, Marcus completed his bus route with precision, attended meetings with business partners, and managed his personal ventures, maintaining the same composure and focus that had defined him for years. His professionalism and quiet authority left no room for doubt about his competence, and even those who had once mocked or underestimated him, like Clara Reynolds, now understood the full extent of his success and character. Patrons, colleagues, and onlookers alike recognized the difference between casual arrogance and earned respect, observing how his calm confidence and consistent excellence shaped the environment around him. By evening, Marcus returned home, navigating the city streets with controlled precision in his Mercedes Benz. The sunset reflected off the car and buildings, casting a warm glow over the city as he reflected on the week's events. Clara's astonishment had been brief, but the lesson endured. Assumptions and mockery are powerless against someone whose competence, discipline, and composure command respect. Marcus stepped out of the vehicle with calm assurance, fully aware that his presence, actions, and demeanor had left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed them. The city, for all who had observed, had been subtly transformed by a quiet but undeniable demonstration of earned authority, professionalism, and success, proving that true respect is recognized instantly when backed by skill, discipline, and unwavering composure.